Live from Austin, Texas, it's Saturday Night Liz. Oh, I am a total cheeseball. It is Saturday night at like 10:06 p.m. That's right. It's gonna get weird and chatty. I have been trying to convince myself all day to film a Flosstube. I haven't even done my intro. Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for another Flosstube episode. Wow, okay, should we try that intro again? I'm Liz, and I'm here to talk to you about everything that I have been stitching on for the last maybe 4 weeks. I don't remember. I did not look up the last time I filmed a Flosstube, but I know it was several weeks ago, so I'm back. It's Saturday night. It is after 10 p.m. I'm feeling a little punchy. But yeah, like I was saying a second ago before I realized I hadn't done my intro, is that I've been trying to convince myself to film all day. For some reason, I just have not been motivated to like gather all the things and sit down in this spot and film. And one of those reasons is because a couple of weeks ago, I finished a dress that I'll show you later. It's hanging right here next to me. And I tried to film a whole like pattern review video, like my thoughts on the pattern, tips and tricks for making it, you know, just a little, you know, here's what I made and here's what I think about it type video. And I got really motivated to do it one night after work. And I am never motivated to do anything after work, ever. So I decided, you know what? Go get in the shower, blow out your hair, put on some makeup. And by like 6:30 p.m., I was sitting in here filming this pattern review video. And then I finished it. I was really proud of myself, and I went and sat down to edit it, and I was like, why does this look so bad? Because I had filmed the whole thing and forgot to turn the light on that is surrounding my camera, my little ring light, and you couldn't, like, it just looked really bad. Like, you need light to be able to see the things that I'm showing you. And so I filmed like a whole 45-minute video that looked terrible and was unusable. And then I just wasn't motivated to film for a couple more weeks. And that is the saga of why, I don't know, I haven't wanted to film lately. I did make a little travel vlog of a recent trip to Las Vegas that I took with my parents and my sisters and my husband. We were in Las Vegas to celebrate my dad's 70th birthday. So happy birthday, Dad. He was 70 on May 22nd. And then it also happened to be my husband's birthday on May 19th. So just a few days prior. So it was kind of a combo trip. It was really for my dad's 70th birthday, but we also did a little, you know, celebration, me and Rob, for him while we were there. We went and got massages. We went and saw a show at the Sphere, which we did not have a good time at. If you want to hear my review of the Sphere, I'll link my vlog below. Yeah, so I've just been like traveling a lot. Work has been unexpectedly more busy, and I have still been doing so much crafting. I just haven't been able to convince myself to sit in here and film something because, you know, most of the time I just want to be on the couch with my knitting or my stitching. And I have been doing a lot of stitching, so that's what we're going to start with. I don't have any finishes to share with you today except for a sewing finish that I'll share in a later segment. So yeah, I have 3 cross stitch whips. Oh wait, I completely forgot. Before I get into the whips, I had some previous finishes that I wanted to share with you. This is the most chaotic start to a video that's making me want to start completely over, but if I don't just like power through and film this, it's not gonna get done. So let's keep going. Oh, the other reason I wasn't gonna film tonight, welcome to the chatty hour, is because my nails look like this. And I'm gonna be holding things up and you're just gonna be looking at my ratty nails. I forgot to book a nail appointment before we went to Vegas, and then it was like too late. Like my normal place was busy, and I was like, it's fine. I'll save the like $100 on a mani-pedi and do it myself. And I did, but like I did the like quick dry where you just do like 1 or 2 coats, and I did no base coat, no top coat, and you know, they immediately look like this. So also I'm very pink today. I just got this little like half zip at Gap, and I even have on hot pink shorts. Hot pink nails. She's a Barbie girl. Collect yourself. Let's talk about previous finishes. I have a couple of summer pillows that are my absolute favorites, and I just wanted to show them because one of them is part of a series that I want to stitch the rest of, and it's actually something that my friend Elizabeth over at Frizzy Lizzy Stitches is working on, so it's just like on my brain. So I thought I would show you guys a couple of previous summer finishes. Here is the first one. This is Summer by Lizzie Kate. It's part of like a little seasonal smalls pack, so it has a few other designs with it, but this is my favorite from the little series, and she does have all of the seasons. Lizzie Kate, the designer, is retired, but 123 Stitch owns the rights to the patterns, so if you're trying to find new in stock Lizzie Kate, 123 Stitch is the only place to get that, I think. Otherwise, you know, I'm sure some of these charts still exist, like in physical form, in cross-stitch shops and stuff, but yes, this is Summer, and my favorite is the U with the watermelon. I mean, watermelon is like one of my absolute favorite summer motifs, like watermelon, strawberries, bees, that kind of thing. And I just finished this as a little pillow with the Lady Create chenille trim that I hand sewed on. I have many tutorials on my channel for making little pillows. I think I've probably finished most of my cross stitch as either pillows or framed finishes, so I've got lots of little tutorials and things. I'll try to link one, go find one and link one below. I also really need to go through my channel and create playlists. Like I have a few different playlists for like vlogs and things, and I think I have a tutorials playlist I started, but like I'm really bad about updating, so I should probably fix that, and then I can link you just like a whole tutorial playlist. The second summer pillow that is my all-time like favorite thing I've ever stitched and fully finished, I think. I've probably said that about other things, but I think I've said it about this like 100 times. This is the Tudor Bee by Blue Flower. And I stitched this on the 36 count called for linen, which was like a color and cotton fennel seed, I believe, and all of the called for NPI silk. And I used the Lady Dot chenille trim and her velveteen. And then these actually are both filled with lizard litter, which is like crushed walnut shells. That's like kind of my favorite pillow finishing or pillow stuffing. It really makes them feel like bean bags, and I like the way they like sit up and kind of like droop a little, like you can kind of shape them, and they're really sturdy, and they feel really nice in the hand. So anyways, that is my two previous finishes that I wanted to share with you guys. Now we can get into the whips. I have two whips that you've seen, and I have one that's a new start. All three of the whips are being stitched from PDFs. I think I did talk about this in my last video, and I know I talked about it a little bit before Stitch North when I had just started using it, but I am now fully 100% a PDF stitcher thanks to the iPad app Markup XP. If you haven't heard of it, it's an app that works on your iPad, and you can use it to import PDF charts, and you can use it to highlight your stitches, mark off your stitches. It's just a really great app for stitching from. And now that I've like kind of figured out, I never wanted to stitch from my iPad before because I like didn't really have a good setup. I didn't feel like in my stitchy spot. And now that I've kind of got everything set up with my iPad and I really know how to use Markup RXP now, I'm obsessed, and it's the only way I want to stitch. And that's a little bit of a problem because of the probably 30 or so whips over here that are all paper charts. So I can scan those charts and import them into Markup RXP. It just takes a little bit more work than when you buy like a PDF chart. So I'm still like thinking about how I'm going to do that, or obviously I can just stitch from my paper charts. It's just that lately I don't want to stitch from paper charts. I only want to stitch from my iPad. And so that's what I've been doing. That's what these 3 whips are. Let's get into it. The first whip is the Deadly Aquarium Sal by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I saw so many people start this when the frame came out that I had to jump in. And we're up to the 3rd release. So we had the frame and then the first 2 creatures. And here is where I'm at. I am stitching mine on 36 count Picture This Plus Nessie. And I'm using 1 strand of all the called for DMCs over 2 linen threads. And I am obsessed with it. I am obsessed. I have finished completely the first creature, which is the little moray eel down here. And I'm about 70% through with the second creature, which is this little puffer fish who still needs all his back stitching. And then I'm about 65% of the way done with the outer frame. So I did not get my frame done before this moray eel piece came out last week. But it doesn't matter. I just started stitching on what I wanted to stitch on, which was the moray eel. And then I did work on the frame a little bit in the meantime. And then yesterday I started working on the little puffin and the seagrass section. So my plan is just as the new releases come out, you know, I stitch on whatever I want to stitch on. So assuming I'm able to keep up, which is, you know, a big if, I'll probably just do the new release and then work a little bit on the frame. Do the new release, work a little bit on the frame. And I basically have the frame completely done on the right side of the chart. And then I'm just missing, you know, fill in and water lines and some stuff down here at the bottom on the middle section. But yeah, just kind of filling it in as I go. This is actually the first mystery stitch along I've done since 2015. I might have already talked about that, but the last one I did where I did try to keep up as it came out was a Frosted Pumpkin one. I think it was our 2015 storybook Sal. I think that's maybe what it was called. I've probably shown it at some point on this channel, but anyways, that's the last time I had done a stitch along, like a mystery stitch along. And yeah, I'm just absolutely obsessed and having so much fun with this one. And I can see why her other 2 mystery stitch alongs were so popular, because they're really fun to do. And I cannot wait for next Friday to see what other adorable little creature we get to put in our aquarium. Okay, next up is the Skipjack Sampler by Ardith Designs. And this was a stitch along that I started at Stitch North with a few of my friends, Shiloh, Lauren, and Elizabeth. And here's what it looks like so far. Thanks to markup, I can tell you that I am at 55% complete on this. Can I remember my fabric? It's a 36 count fiber on a whim hydrangea, I believe. I think it's hydrangea. It's a super pretty purple. I'm using the called for forbidden fiber flosses, but I did change this text color, which you see here in purple. That's a DMC color. The called for color was a light blue, similar to what I'm using down here. And I just felt like the letters didn't pop enough, so I switched my letters to that darker purple. And this is one of the projects I took with me to Las Vegas, and I stitched on this a lot in the hotel room. Also, while I was stitching on this one day, I wanted to watch some YouTube while I stitched, so I found a new Flosstube called Beck Stitches Everything that I just want to recommend to you guys if you're looking for somebody new to watch. She just published her second video yesterday, and I watched that one too. Hi, Beck. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out because I really enjoyed, one, her personality and listening to her talk. And I also really just identified with her first video jitters because I've been there. And she just stitches a really wide variety of fun stuff, and I really enjoyed her projects. So anyways, yeah, so I was watching her while stitching on this in Las Vegas one afternoon. I finished the whole right side of this big sail, which I was really happy about. So now I just got to repeat it on the other side. And yeah, I've been moving right along on this one. So it's really fun to stitch on. Also, this chart is now available as a PDF. So I think it had been a little bit hard to find as a printed copy because it had like kind of sold out aftermarket at a lot of places, I had noticed. But now you can get it as a printed chart and you can get it as a PDF on Amanda's website. So I'll link that down below in case anybody else wants to join in with our little skipjack sampler, Sal. Okay, the next whip is a new start and it is entirely the fault of my friend Shiloh, XStitchMD. It is the Bookshelf by Mojo Stitches. I was like, don't blank. Okay. Mojo Stitches. Shiloh showed this in her most recent Flosstube episode that she was like kitting it up and getting it ready to start. And I immediately DM'd her and I was like, I'm downloading it. Let's start it. Let's go. Shiloh's always down for a good start. Here's my progress on the Bookshelf by Mojo Stitches. According to my new best friend, Markup RXP, I am 14% of the way through my little piece here. I started over here in the right corner like I always do, but I worked my way over to the center because I really wanted to do like this top bookshelf first. So, this is like kind of like a Tiffany looking lamp, I think. Hopefully I'll put like the image over here so you can see it while I'm referencing my stitching. I am stitching this on a 36 count American Chestnut by R&R, and I am not using her called for threads, which are cottage garden threads, because her Etsy store was like out of stock of the she does like pre-cut links for like exactly what you need for some of her charts. I saw Shiloh talking about it. She had bought some. And so that was sold out. So instead she offered an alternate overdyed thread conversion to like Gentle Arts, Weeks, etc. And so those are the threads I'm using. So they're on the chart. They're called for. It's just the alternate overdyed threads. And I really, really love this. I worked on this for like a full week, I think, right before we went to Las Vegas, but I actually haven't worked on it in the last week and a half since we've been home. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It is like fiddly, I guess you would say, in terms of like there's a lot of colors and a lot of color changes, but I don't mind. I would rather have a lot of color changes and a lot of like heavy details than stitch like repetitive stuff. So, you know, it's working for me. And I also I've seen Mojo Stitches. She has a really pretty like Quaker that I think is really popular that I'd seen before. But when I was in her Etsy shop, she has like a lot of really cute stuff. So I definitely think I'll be back shopping. And her charts come in PDF, which is like now my new main requirement for stitching apparently, because of how much I love stitching on my iPad. Okay, so those are all the cross stitch whips. Let's move on to sewing because I have a finished project I want to share. I made myself a little summer dress. And here it is. I did take photos and videos of it, so I'll probably just like put those on the screen rather than awkwardly holding up my dress, but you know, here it is. Can you see it? Was that a useful shot? Okay, what do I want to say? It's the Zadie Dress expansion pattern. The original pattern is called the Zadie jumpsuit, which is like a really wildly popular pattern. I think it's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point. And I think a couple of years ago, they released a dress expansion pack. So it uses the same bodice as the jumpsuit and just substitutes a wrap skirt instead of the pants. So you do need both patterns in order to make it, which is fine with me because I really do want to make the jumpsuit version at some point. I did actually try to make a shorts version of the jumpsuit that kind of went awry, and I did talk about that in my failed video, so I'm going to give like, you know, a 5-minute version of that story instead of like whatever, you know, longer version I told in that video. But basically I had my fabric, which is this lovely Ruby Star rayon, challis rayon print. And I had bought 3 yards of it thinking, oh, that'll be plenty for whatever I want to do, because I thought it was like a 55 or 60 inch wide fabric. I didn't realize it was 45 inches when I bought it. It was labeled on the site. I just didn't pay attention because I'm just used to like those rayon prints coming in the wider width. And so then when I got the fabric, I realized, oh, it's 45 inch, no big deal. But then when I found the dress pattern I wanted to make, this Zadie dress, I realized like, oh, I really don't have enough of this fabric to make that dress. Dang it. But I realized I had enough of the fabric to make the jumpsuit version if I made the pants shorts. And I thought that'll be cute, like a little romper. Do I own any rompers? No. Have I ever worn a romper? No. Why did I think that I should make myself a romper? I don't know, but I did. And I actually like filmed clips of it, like vlog style. Maybe I'll use some of them in here since that video fell apart due to bad filming. And I cut it out, I put everything together, and then I tried it on, and I realized that the torso was just too short. I mean, I knew going in it probably would be too short because the pattern does tell you that everything is graded for a person who is 5'7", and I am 5'10", so that is 3 inches taller. But I wasn't quite sure what I would want to do to modify the pattern, and I had heard that the pattern ran a little bit large. So I was like, let me just make it as is, and we'll see what happens. Well, what happened was it was too short, and it was like basically just, you know, too high in the crotch and too low in the top, right? And so I took it apart and I added in a 2-inch waistband. The reason I added 2 inches and not 3 that I really did need is because I had scraps of fabric left. So I even had to piece to get this like 2-inch waistband. And so I did the waistband, I put it back together. It did fit much better. It would have been better at another inch or so longer. And I was like, okay, I could finish this. You know, I'm like staring at myself in the mirror, and I talked myself out of it. I was like, am I going to actually wear this? I don't know. And do I want it a little bit longer? Yeah, I do. And do I want it without this weird hacked in waistband? Yeah. So I decided, okay, this isn't working. And what I ended up deciding to do was that since the bodice is put together the exact same way for the dress or the jumpsuit, I figured I'm just going to hack off, you know, unpick the waistband and the shorts, and then I'll add on the skirt. But I didn't have any fabric left. So I had to get online. I had to order some more of this palm print, and it's an older fabric, so it was really hard to find. But I did find 2 more yards of it, which was plenty to make this into the dress version that I now have, and I'm very, very happy with. I definitely think, you know, my sewing could have been slightly neater in some places. I don't know if I did the absolute best job on my ruffling or my gathers around the waistband, but it's fine. I think it turned out super cute. It's the perfect length. I did shorten it. Not because of lack of fabric, just because I wanted it shorter. I wanted it like just above the knee length rather than like mid calf. And I added in the pockets. I thought about skipping them, but I was like, no, I want these dang pockets. And I was really proud of how the little like waistband tie and everything came together. So yeah, super, super happy with my finished result, even though it took me, you know, 5 yards of fabric and a couple failed iterations of this before I got to a finished product I like, but I am really, really pleased with how it all came together, and especially how my little tie looks and everything. So yeah, was I gonna say anything else about this dress? The only thing else I was gonna mention, and I think I might have talked about this in another video, is one of the things that stops me from making clothes a lot of times, all the time, is having to print and cut out the humongous patterns. And you're gonna have to cut out the pattern pieces no matter what, but printing them and then taping your pieces together is such a pain in, you know. And somebody, well, several somebodies very nicely left comments on that video telling me, hey, there's pattern printing services. Genius. So yeah, I used tape-free patterns. That was, I think, the first one that was suggested to me, and I immediately ordered from them. And they are, I think, in DFW area, so it was very quick shipping. And she had an option to do the pattern pieces on this like non-woven, it feels like a sew-in interfacing, but basically it makes this reusable. It's really thin, easily foldable, holds up really well. I definitely have plans to make this dress and the jumpsuit version again. So I'm really happy that I chose. This was like a slightly more expensive option than just paper, but I knew I would, well, I hoped that I would want to use the pattern again. So I went ahead and got this kind of woven or non-woven interfacing, just so it'll be easier to reuse. So I just wanted to show you that and what that looks like. So yeah. Anyways, that is, I think, all the sewing I've really done. I've done a little bit more on my picnic patchwork quilt that looks like this. For some reason, that video was kind of like popping off views-wise again. It's been getting a ton of views lately. I think maybe because it looks a little summery and so people are, you know, putting together their own picnic patchwork quilts, which is really fun. I really have not done much quilting at all this year, at all. And I want to get back to it. I just, you know, I have so many hobbies and interests right now that I have not been sewing as much as I want to be. So I have an idea for another quilt pattern I want to make. But first, I need to finish my adult-size picnic patchwork and, you know, share that with you guys because I don't want to keep starting so many things before I finish them quilt-wise because I just really don't have enough storage for all the quilt whips that I want to have going at once. Like, it's bad enough the amount of cross-stitch whips I have and the amount of knitting whips. Oh my gosh, I owe you guys a knitting video. Well, like half of you. I know the other half aren't interested, but for my knitters out there, I have also been knitting so much and there's just like not enough time in my days. Okay, so actually before we close out of stitchy talk, sewing talk, I just had a little bit of haul. When I was searching for more of that yellow palm print for my dress, I discovered that the fabric was also available as a cotton, like a quilting cotton. And so I got this really pretty pink and red. And then I got some of the pink stars on red background from the Starry collection by Ruby Star. And I don't have any plans for these, but I just love them. So I'm sure they will become bags of some sort at some point because it's my favorite thing to make. And then I also got in April my Ruby Star Society quarterly bundle. I have quit most of my fat quarter clubs because, again, I have not been sewing as much and I just don't have enough storage for everything that I want. So I did cancel my like Moda fat quarter club of the month and my laundry basket fat quarter club of the month, but I don't think I'll ever quit this Ruby Star one. I just absolutely love getting all of these Ruby Star fabrics every quarter. And I feel like 4 times a year is a lot less intimidating than 12 times a year. So this was the April club and they always come with a spool of thread and a pattern that will use all of the fat quarters in your bundle. So I got that. I get it from Fat Quarter Shop, who does sometimes send me things, but I pay for that with my own money. Speaking of Fat Quarter Shop, they did send me a few things, including the quilted scarecrow. This is a follow-up to the quilted witch that Lori Holt did last year, and now she has the quilted scarecrow, and he's amazing. I don't know if I'm actually going to do this pattern because I do have the Quilted Witch kit back here that I would really love to start this fall. So I'll probably set this aside and do it as a giveaway sometime soon, or maybe as we get closer to fall, because it's just so gorgeous. And then they also sent me a couple of their little like monthly cross-stitch charts, and I just love the February one. I'm just going to show you a few of these. Here's the February hearts. I think it's called Shelf Life. And I also think these might be available as PDF too for any of my other fellow PDF stitchers. I'll link them down below if so. And then they have March, the cute little lovebirds. And then April, which is a little rain theme. Which here in Texas, I am so sick of the rain. I feel like it's been rainy everywhere, but it has been particularly soggy and gross here, and I'm over it. Over it. Thank you so much to the Fat Quarter Shop for sending me some of your new releases. I really appreciate it. Why do I start talking when I'm like leaning out of frame? Okay, I have one little piece of cross stitch haul. I mean, there's probably been more, but the only thing that I could remember or think of was this, which is the Garden Sampler by Carriage House Samplings. My friend Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, stitched it and finished it recently, and it is gorgeous. And she used a Roxy floss conversion. And so while we were at Stitch North, I decided I needed the Roxy floss conversion, and I bought it. This would have already been started, except that all of my flosses are with my friend Elizabeth, Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, in Ohio, and I will get to pick those up from her at StitchCon next weekend. Like, I leave for StitchCon in 5 days. I leave on Wednesday night. I haven't even talked about StitchCon. I thought this video was going to be like 20 minutes max, and now I'm just going to talk forever. Anyway, so I think I want to start this at StitchCon. I'll be sitting with my BFF Liz. Why did I say that's so weird? I'm going to StitchCon with Liz from Hello from Liz Matthews, my favorite cross-stitch travel partner. And her aunt, in case you didn't know, is the designer for Carriage House Samplings, Marty Barrick. So wouldn't that be fun? I'll just start one of Liz's aunt's piece while I'm sitting next to Liz at StitchCon. But before I go, I want to scan this chart and try importing it into my markup RXP, because it is a big, huge chart. And I know it'll be so much easier if I'm able to stitch this from the app. So I do have a scanner on my printer. So I think this is going to be my first attempt at scanning a paper chart and trying to import it into markup. If anybody has any tips for me, feel free to leave them in the comments, or any good tutorials. I would love to hear about them. I just am really, really excited to stitch this. It did call for what felt like 100 flosses. Like, I legitimately think I might have spent $100 on the floss, but that's Canadian dollars, so maybe like 80. It was still expensive. So anyways, I would like to start this. Maybe this is my birthday start this year. My birthday is actually a few days after StitchCon, but I'll just pretend it's my birthday at StitchCon. Should we talk about StitchCon for a minute? I don't know what I'll talk about because I don't really have anything planned other than hanging out with Liz and Frizzy Lizzy and Cam the Stitcher, Bridget, the museum stitcher, Marjorie Maid, Maddie, who is Kitty Stitch. Yes, Kitty Stitch. Who else is coming? I think that might be the table that I'm kind of like crashing. And yes. Oh, Rocio. I'm going to see Rocio and Holly, who is Stitchy Pros, and Abby Topknot. And I'm sure, like, you know, 100 other people I'm going to know are going to be there, because StitchCon is like, you know, the biggest one. It's my first time going. I'm really, really excited about it. I've done Stitch North, which is like the biggest one I've done, which is like 200 people. So I'm interested to see like how much bigger 300 people feels. And I'm also very excited just to go see the Keepsake store, because I've never been to Cincinnati before. So it's my first trip, so I've never been to Keepsakes. I'm excited to shop the annex that everyone always talks about. And it also feels like a longer retreat to me, because I'll be there like 4 nights, I think. I think it's like a most of the day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning, or Sunday most of the day. I actually don't know. I leave like Sunday afternoon, so I'll be there till Sunday morning. And yeah, I get in Wednesday night. I'm planning to be there in line, ready to go Thursday when it opens, and I'm really looking forward to it. I do plan on vlogging my trip, so in the next couple of days here, I'm going to need to figure out what I'm packing, and I will give you guys a look at like what I'm bringing to retreat and what it looks like when I'm there. I'll do my best. It'll probably be very similar to the Stitch North vlog, which is a lot of laughter and loud noises and montages of stitching. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. The last thing we need to do is pick a giveaway winner. That was an abrupt transition. I had a giveaway last week, and it was for a copy of Artist Designs Skipjack Sampler, and I offered up either a PDF or a printed copy, winner's choice. So let's pick a winner. Okay, I've got everything loaded. Let's pick a winner. The winner is Rebecca Thomas 8126. Woo! Oh my gosh, she said she's so close to finishing her Love Boat sampler and ready for the skipjack. Yay! I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, and you're going to StitchCon? This is amazing. If you want a physical copy, I can bring it to you at StitchCon. Or if you want the PDF version, I will send that to you. Let me know. Just email me. My email is listed down below. Congratulations, Rebecca Thomas. Okay, it is now 10:45 p.m. and I should probably wrap this up so I don't get super rambly, even though people claim they love my rambles. Yeah, hopefully I can get this edited and uploaded tomorrow, and then it'll be like the Liz of old who used to upload every Sunday. Who was she? Oh right, she never left the house because it was a pandemic. And now she has to actually go places and do things. Ugh. When all she wants to do is craft and talk about herself in the third person. Anything else I have new? I mean, I really just need to film a knitting video. I have some more travel coming up this month, obviously StitchCon, and then I have to travel for work. And then I guess I don't really have anything planned at the end of the summer, so maybe it'll be more normal and less chaotic, but we'll find out. It's just going to continue to be a loosey-goosey schedule over here, and I thank you guys always so much for sticking with me and enjoying these videos, and yeah, that's where I'll leave it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!